Jai Shri Ram. We are looking into the Stri Parva, which is the 11th chapter, the 11th canto, if you may, because canto is the term they use for epic poetry. So, 11th canto, Stri Parvam of the Mahabharata. The sub canto, only one is there, Jala Pradhanika Parva. Jala Pradhanika Parva. Now, I'll tell you about that later. Now, Dhritarashtra lost all his 100 sons. Eh? All his counselors, friends, all his kings, all of them were wiped out. He was unbearable with grief. He fell to the ground like a tree uprooted by the wind. Even Dhritarashtra was a very physically very strong. He was not an ordinary person, mind you. He was an associate of Kubera, who took birth as a human to be part of this entire drama enacted by Krishna, to teach humans some lessons about how you need to live your life, how politics is played. You cannot say, I won't play, right? Then you are a dumb fellow, you will be cheated easily. And there are some rascals who say that they don't play politics. These are the most dangerous ones. That's how they play politics. So you be careful with those people. So, and by the way, politics is inevitable, because the moment there is a third person, politics will start. If the world had been populated only by two people, there wouldn't have been any politics. The moment you have a third person, A, B, C, A will say one thing to B and another to C, and he will say something, he will poison B's mind about C, and if A doesn't do it, B will do that. And once B starts the game, A has to do it. The game theory. Okay? You understand the game theory? So that is how the game theory goes on. John Nash and what's that movie? Beautiful Mind, isn't it? Beautiful Mind. Yeah. Nash equilibrium is unfortunately a state of affairs which is disadvantageous for all. How to really find the best solution to the game theory is Bhagavad Gita. Because the game theory will teach you that all these games actually end up, and the worst or the best ones will be zero-sum games. So, Bhagavad Gita will teach you about a positive sum game. It's a positive sum game. So it doesn't have to be always like this, that somebody has to lose for someone else to win. So that's a positive sum game. So that's where the concept of Loka Sangraham comes in. So working purely for the welfare of mankind, and your selfish personal interest is best served in being selfless. That is the highest form of selfishness. Selflessness is the highest form of selfishness. Highest quality is lowest cost. I don't know who said this, but it's an awesome thing to say. Highest quality is lowest cost. How? Very simple. If you produce the best quality stuff, eventually the economies of scale will begin to operate. More and more people will buy, and then your operating costs will go down. So much so, at the end, it will become so cheap, and then everyone can afford the best quality, and you get all the profits and the name too. So that's the meaning of highest quality is the lowest cost. So anyway, there are so many. Mahabharata teaches you everything about life, and you can foresee. Actually, when you are reading Mahabharata, what happens is, events that have earlier happened in your life, you can see parallels in the Mahabharata, and you can actually identify characters from the Mahabharata and see how they fit into your life. Who's the Krishna in your life? Are you the Krishna in someone's life? Are you the Arjuna? Are you Bhima? Are you Dharmaraj? And each of these characters have some flaws in them, except Krishna, obviously, right? Even Krishna perhaps learnt a lesson. Can you guess what lesson Krishna learnt? See, Krishna delivered 5 Gitas. The first one was the Bhagavad Gita. And after the war was over, several years later, Arjuna asked Krishna, listen, I forgot all that you told me. Can you repeat this? Krishna scolded him. No, I was in a different yogic mood at that time. I can't repeat the whole thing right now. How careless of you. So Krishna chided. And then he delivered another Gita, which is called the Anu Gita, which is actually bigger. Anu means afterwards. Anyway, it's much bigger. 1036 shlokas, I think. So Bhagavad Gita is only 700. This is 1036. So he delivered the Anu Gita. And again, after a few more years, he forgot some more of this. He forgot it in parts or something like that. There has to be a reason why. Arjuna again said, hey Krishna, please repeat the lesson. Krishna scolded him again. What kind of a student are you? You don't take notes? You should not only take notes, revise, record and listen to yourself. Don't worry about whether people listen to you. You know why I make these YouTube videos? So many of them. More than 3,000 now. Why? I don't really bother about whether people are listening to me. I listen to myself. Why? So that my memory is reinforced. So that someday, like Abraham Lincoln said, my time will come. Until that time, I'll prepare. The world will give me an opportunity. I'll create an opportunity anyway if that doesn't happen. So, are you ready? If you're not ready, opportunities will come and go. You will not be able to take them. You cannot seize the opportunity if you're not ready for it. So, keep preparing all the time. So, Krishna delivered one more Gita that is called the Uttara Gita. Uttara Gita. In fact, barring a few shlokas which are slightly different, the content is almost the same when compared to the Bhagavad Gita. See, in the Uddhav Gita, Krishna says, Ananta Shastram Bahuveditavyam Alpascha Kalam Bhavascha Vijna Yatsara Bhutam Tadupasitavyam Hamso Yada Kshiram Ivambu Mishram. You know what this means? You can listen carefully, you will understand. It's basic, simple Sanskrit. Ananta Shastram Bahuveditavyam Alpascha Kalam Bhavascha Vignaha Yatsara Bhutam Tadupasitavyam Hamso Yadha Kshiram Ivambu Mishram. So, the Shastras are infinite. You see, Christianity has one book, Islam has one book, and they have a few more which are considered the sayings and observances of their prophet, that is called Hadith, and his biography, Sirah al-Nabi, of the prophet, peace be upon him. So, Quran is the main and the Hadiths are there. In fact, Hadith constitutes 90% of Islam. So that should be treated more important. And the Sirah al-Nabi, which is the biography. So these three. For Christians, there is just one. Whereas for Hindus, there are uncountable. Tens of thousands of Shastras are there. Of course, Veda is the canon. Whereas the triple canon of Hinduism is Prasthanatrayam. The Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutras and Upanishads. Upanishads is the Jnanakanda or the essence, the knowledge of the Vedas. How many Upanishads are there? Well, there could be more than 150. Rama listed out 108, Sri Rama, when he was talking about moksha and salvation. He was talking to Hanumanji. In that Muktikopanishad, Rama listed 108. And I have a collection of 122. So, Upanishads are the discussions between teacher and student, and they contain the essence, the knowledge, the quintessence of the Vedas. So, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutras, Upanishads. These are the triple canon of Hinduism. So, Hinduism, you will notice that there are lakhs. So, that is why Krishna says, Ananta Shastram Bahuveditavyam Alpascha Kalam Bhavascha Vijna Yatsara Bhutam Tadupasitavyam Hamso Yada Kshiram Ivam Mishram. Therefore, like a swan, be thou like a swan, and take the essence. It is said that the spiritual swan, I don't know if the actual swans, real swans, the cygnet, CYGNET, the young one of a swan, can it separate milk from water? If there is a mixture of milk and water, can it separate? I don't know. But in Hinduism, we have this concept the Paramahamsa, the spiritual swan. Hamsa. Paramahamsa is the highest order of sadhus. So Hamsa is able to, which means you and I are Hamsa actually. Hamsa is another appellation for the Jivatma, the soul, because it has to fly. It will go back to Godhood. White, pure light. Sachidananda Vigraha. That's what we are. Every soul is potentially divine. But we get lost. We get trapped in the mire here, in the quagmire, the morass. Now, Hamsa Mantra, you know what interestingly it is? Every day you are chanting the Hamsa Mantra even without knowing it. Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian or a Buddhist or a Sikh or you are an atheist, you are actually chanting Hamsa Mantra. When you breathe in, the sound is hum, and when you breathe out, exhale, it is sa. So that is called Hamsa Mantra. And it is said some 22,000 times we breathe in a day. So you are chanting the Hamsa Mantra 22,000 times in a day. And tell the atheist and the communist. I don't know where he's got to go and hang himself. He's chanting the Hamsa Mantra without even knowing it. You see, Hamsa. So that's how it goes. So Krishna says a few more things like that. Atyanta malinam deham, dehi atyanta nirmalaha, ubhayor antaram jnatva kasya saucham vidhiyate. He says in another place in the Uddhava Gita, and some of these shlokas are repeated even in Uttar Gita, and interestingly Sri Rama said the same thing too. Atyanta malinam deham, dehi atyanta nirmalaha, ubhayor antaram jnatva kasya saucham vidhiyate. The body is exceedingly impure and the Atma is inherently pure. Once you know the difference between these two, whose purity would you endeavor to achieve? Is a rhetorical question, simply implying that there cannot be any purity. You can purify this body any amount, but through the pores, so many pores in the skin, the biggest organ, the skin, from the pores, a lot of things are oozing all the time. But you try to beautify this dirty body. It's rotting. The moment a person dies, it starts rotting much more rapidly. Otherwise also it is full of filth. But we are busy beautifying it, buying cosmetics and beautifying the physique. You want to get a beautiful, butt. People work out in the gym to get that badonka donks. What is the word for a beautiful physique? Pulchritudinous body. Pulchritudinous presence. Pulchriteu. Pulchritudinous. Pulchritude. Sheer physical beauty. Pulchritudinous body. And so all the girls are going to the gyms to work out and get those donkey butts, badonka donks. Okay, all this is okay, fine. You're trying to be the cynosure, CYNOSURE, the center of attraction. So the males too are busy doing that. Well, it's good. It keeps you healthy. Do yoga also alongside so that you're flexible. So you can lead a much happier life. So there's nothing wrong in that. And all the cosmetics to make you look more attractive. But what cosmetics are you using for your soul? The word soul, of course, I don't like to use it because it's an irrational Christian concept, the Abrahamic concept. Because they believe that soul exists only in humans. It doesn't exist in animals or trees for that matter. Whereas Sanatana Dharma will tell you, consciousness is the ultimate reality, even in stones, even in inanimate objects. And if you know the double slit experiment, the final conclusion, the inevitable conclusion of the double slit experiment is consciousness is the ultimate reality. You could be born as a pig, you could be born as a goat, a chicken, so no meat eating. And your Bible says, thou shalt not kill. Did they give any concessions there? That thou shalt not kill is all right, but here you can kill a chicken, you can goat, a calf, a cow, a buffalo, and virtually anything. Anything can be cooked and eaten. Is that what the Bible says? No. It says thou shalt not kill. There ends the matter. It's a categorical imperative, absolute moral law. But what the hell are you doing? So Sanatana Dharma does not allow killing animals, no meat eating. But Hindus are eating, thanks to all the Abrahamic uh, cults. These people are mindlessly following them and eating, and that's why they're suffering. Not only health, it's ethically wrong, and spiritually wrong too. How can you be a happy human when you're causing pain and misery and you're so cruel? Can you be a human if you're cruel? No, you cannot be. So Krishna, what was the lesson Krishna learned? That was where we started this whole discussion. He delivered the Bhagavad Gita, next the Anugita, Uttara Gita, and he also spoke to Dharmaraja, Yudhishthira, 22 verses, which is called the Kama Gita, about how desire. Many fools think that Kama simply means sex. Kama is a general term which means desire, selfish desire. Selfish desire. Selfish desire will have its reactions. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But I think in life, I decided I'll modify that rule, and therefore I modified it like this. Every action has a more than equal, more than opposite, delayed reaction. So, no escaping here. The repercussions will chase you. Karma will bite your ass. Be careful. So, do not be under the impression that somebody will come and save you. You are your only savior. The only way you can be saved is when you pay your bills. Pay back. So only pray to God to give you the strength to be able to bear the repercussions of your own stupid actions. Okay. So Krishna also went ahead and delivered another Gita called the Uddhava Gita to his friend, cousin and disciple Uddhava. Uddhava, when Krishna was about to depart, the incarnation, the function was over. So he was going to leave. Uddhava said, what about me? What about me? Of course, Uddhava was also a person from Golokam, Vrindavan, who descended here. So again, you see, for humanity, for the sake of humanity, so that you and I learn. So Uddhava asks and Krishna delivers another Gita that is called Uddhava Gita. You will find it in the Bhagavatam. So 5 Gitas Krishna gave. And what was the lesson Krishna learnt? Have we changed? No. No, not at all. So Arjuna at least had the decency. He forgot, he asked Krishna. We have no decency. We already assume that we know it. I see many Hindus talk as if they have already read it, and they say, Bhagavad Gita has the answers for everything. Ask him if he has read it. No. He is repeating this like a parrot. He has not read it anywhere. He is not. He doesn't have a book at home. And even if he does, has he read it? And do you think it's so easy? Adi Shankaracharya said that Gita is the essence of all the Vedas, but it's very difficult to understand. Tadidam Gita Shastram samasta Vedartha Sarasangraha Bhutam Durvigneyartham. Very difficult to understand. When Adi Shankaracharya, who was a child prodigy, by the age of 10, he mastered all the Vedas and all the scriptures. And he went on to do Shastrarth, scriptural debate, defeated many people who were ritualists and many other people who had strayed from the path of Dharma. They had this argument, debate with him, because those days debate still was very polite and rational and genial discourse. Not like the one that we see today. People get angry, abusive, and threaten to kill each other. That's not a debate. So, Adi Shankaracharya, a child prodigy, the ultimate scholar, who himself said that Gita is the essence and it's difficult to understand. So how can any mortal say he has fully understood? In fact, there are so many shlokas which only Krishna has to explain to us. They have to be unlocked in meditation. Okay. So the lesson Krishna learnt also was this: these humans are not going to change, but God is not going to give up, because He is our friend. And he is also feeling sad that you have abandoned him. That's the parable in the Vedas there is the parable. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya savanam ruksham parishasvajate tayoranyaha pippalam swadvati anashnananyo abhichakashiti. This is the parable of the 2 birds which will be found in all the Vedas. It is not Vedas, it is Ved. The Englishman made it Vedas. What ass there? Vedas. It's not an ass. It's Veda. Ved. It's not even Veda. Ved means to know. Know. That is the command. Your duty is to know thyself, know yourself, and know the Lord, the Supreme Lord, who is your constant companion and who is your eternal friend, who is the only relative. All your relatives here on earth, well, they are in your company, luckily, because you are all working out your karma together. You are kindred souls, if you may. But the original companion, our eternal companion, is Krishna. And he is feeling sad sitting on top of the tree. And you are jumping and hopping on the lower branches, eating sometimes some sweet fruit and enjoying it, and sometimes some bitter fruit. And then he is looking down at you, hoping that you will come up, but you are not looking at him. You are looking elsewhere. You are looking for more fun. But are you getting it all the time? No. The law of diminishing returns is operating. You get cloyed, blasé, jaded, and you suffer, but still you don't give up the chase. You are on the hedonism treadmill, continuously running on the treadmill and not learning your lessons till old age captures you. Rage, rage. What did he say? Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. I think it's a deeply spiritual poem. He is saying that at least now you wake up and try to recollect your memory of being the eternal companion of Krishna. Not behave like a sex maniac now. Even they'll consume Viagra, do everything to have more fun and make life more miserable for everyone, including yourself. So this is the sad state of humans. Okay. So I took off on a tangent and I hope you enjoyed the digression. Now Dhritarashtra lost all his sons, he lost all his friends, everything is over. Dhritarashtra actually represents all of us. In our foolishness, we do all kinds of things and we consider ourselves very smart and intelligent, and we somehow think that we will manage to win it. There's no winning here. And you can't get out also. You can't even break even here. Okay. So Dhritarashtra fell to the ground like a tree uprooted by the wind. Sanjaya consoled him. Vidura also spoke to him. Vidura said, you see, this is death, Baba, the power of death that will drag all creatures, even gods. There is nothing that will survive. And he talked about how frail the body is. All of us have to die. Life is a forest. You should live in it carefully until the ordained time comes. The body of a creature is like a car. Travel in it carefully, controlling the senses. Self-restraint, detachment, caution are the three horses of Brahman. Brahman is the appellation of God in the Ved. So Krishna, Rama are just other names of Brahman. So the three horses of Brahman, according to Vidura, are self-restraint, detachment, and caution. He who rides on the car of his soul with these three horses and with the help of wisdom, that the sons, the saints, the rishis have passed on to us, he can drive course on the highway of salvation without any fear of death. He goes to the region of the Supreme Lord, Brahman. So Vidura gave this wonderful sermon. Then Vedavyasa came. He also told Dhritarashtra and Gandhari that the destruction of humanity was ordained, already preordained. And he then narrates an event that he witnessed in the court of Indra. He was in the court of Indra. Mother Earth, you see, Earth personified, she came and told Indra in the assembly of Brahman. When Indra was in the assembly of Brahman, and she was complaining that she is unable to bear the burden of all the wicked people. And then hearing these words, Vishnu smiled and addressed her in the midst of all the devas. that the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, whose name would be Duryodhana, he will relieve you. He will accomplish your work. And through that fellow, your objective will be achieved. You will be unburdened. So, for this sake, many kings assembled together on the Kurukshetra. They will kill each other and die. Your burden will be reduced. And so, go to your station and continue to bear the weight of the weight of all creatures. So, Vedavyasa said, this is what happened, this is what I noticed. So, it's all predetermined, preordained. So, don't act like a simplicissimus now. Anyway, simplicissimus is an interesting word. Simplicissimus. Spell it any way you like, because English is so full of weird pronunciation. It means a person who is repeatedly exploited and repeatedly, subjected to all kinds of humiliation, exploitation and pain, but still he takes it philosophically instead of actually taking some action. So anyway, so Dhritarashtra was weeping. So Vedavyasa told him this much. So Vyasa actually told him, say, hey Dhritarashtra, your son Duryodhana, born of Gandhari's womb, was a portion of Kali. Kali. He was born to bring about universal slaughter. Look at his traits. Restless, wrathful, evil, diabolical, nefarious, sinister, nefandous, plotting. And that is how destiny worked out. His brothers took after him. Shakuni and Karna helped him in this holocaust. Pandavas cannot be blamed. Your sons are wicked. Narada also informed Yudhishthira after the Rajasuya Yajnam that there would be a great war. And these Pandavas and Kauravas will fight and they will destroy each other. And that is why Yudhishthira tried his best to delay the inevitable. He tried his best to preserve the peace. But you never allowed him to achieve even that. He came to you twice and played the gambling game. You shouldn't have invited him. That was improper. But you did. And he, knowing fully well that all this is eventually going to lead to a holocaust, he still came because he didn't want to precipitate anything. Because he took a vow not to displease anyone and therefore avoid disputes, because then a small event will lead to a big fight. So his compassion was such, his kindness was such, and he tried his best, but you failed him. Now your job is to simply get up and stop weeping and show your love and compassion for the Pandavas. They too are losers in this Pyrrhic war. Pyrrhic. A Pyrrhic war is Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhic victory is victory won at such a great cost that it is worse than loss, worse than a defeat, isn't it? So that is Vidura, and then I will have to do one more recording for Stri Parva. This will be the part 1 of Stri Parva. Part 2 I will start after some time. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. Please pass it on. There's so much to learn. Mahabharata is so exciting, and I'll try my best to make sure that all the relevant inferences are also drawn. And do tell me what you learn after you listen to this, and post your comments so that we can together learn and enjoy this journey of studying the Mahabharata. Jai Shri Ram.